The world doesn't hand out trophies for trying. No one's coming to save you. No one's giving you a gold medal for getting out of bed in the morning. This life, this game, it only rewards winners, not the ones who hope. Not the ones who wait, the ones who decide, the ones who build. You want to think like a champion, then you better understand one thing. Champions are not born different, they become different. Through pain, through fire, through war inside their own head. You think greatness is about luck, about talent. No, it's mindset. That's it. A switch. Either it's on or it's off. You're either building your empire or you're sitting in the rubble of your excuses. And I'll be real with you, most people will never get it. They'll scroll, they'll complain, they'll wish, and they'll stay exactly where they are, because it's easier to dream than to fight. But you're here, you're listening, and if there's even 1 ounce of fire left in you, I'll show you how to turn that spark into a furnace. 5 steps. That's all it takes to break the chains and rise like the machine you were meant to be. But only if you're ready to stop lying to yourself. Only if you're ready to kill weakness with discipline. So lock in, no distractions, because what comes next will either change you or expose you. Life is war. Not sometimes, not only when it gets hard, always. From the second you open your eyes in the morning to the moment you crash into your bed at night, you're either fighting or you're being hunted. That's the truth no one wants to hear. That's the truth that separates the strong from the soft. This world doesn't owe you comfort, and it sure as hell doesn't owe you fairness. It doesn't care if you're tired. It doesn't care if you had a hard past. It doesn't care if you feel like giving up. The world moves on with or without you, and if you're not ready to fight, you'll get eaten alive by those who are. The world is full of people who want to win but refuse to go to war. They want the rewards of a lion while living like a sheep. But predators don't ask for permission. Predators don't hope. They hunt, they grind, they dominate. They sharpen their mind, their body, and their will every single day. When others sleep, they rise. When others quit, they push harder. Not because it's easy, but because they've accepted what most never will. That life is a battlefield, and the weak get crushed. Every single day, you wake up with a choice. A decision. Are you going to attack this day, or are you going to hide from it? Are you going to be the one who moves forward or the one who makes excuses? Because make no mistake, the second you hesitate, the second you let comfort creep in, someone out there is getting stronger while you're getting softer. Someone is training while you're scrolling. Someone is building while you're doubting yourself. And that person, that's your competition, that's the predator. If you're not ready to fight like them, you'll be left behind. You were not born to be soft. You were not born to live your life on your knees, begging for peace in a world that was never built for the weak. Look around, everything great in this life is taken, not given. Every throne is fought for. Every victory is paid for in sweat, pain, and sacrifice. If you're waiting for someone to hand you your dream, stop. No one's coming, not your parents, not your friends, not your boss. If you want it, really want it, you've got to be ready to bleed for it, and I get it. You've had moments where you wanted to quit. We all have moments where you felt like the world was against you, where you were tired, broken, maybe even alone. But that's where warriors are made, in the darkness, in the fire. That's where you find out what you're really made of when everything hurts and you keep going anyway. That's when you stop being prey and start becoming a predator, because the strongest people you'll ever meet, they weren't born that way. They were built through chaos, through rejection, through failure, through days when they had nothing left except the decision to not back down. You want to win? Then embrace the war. Stop running from pain. Stop hiding from challenges. They are not the enemy. They are the path. Every struggle is shaping you. Every setback is preparing you. Every painful lesson is part of your armor. You don't grow when things are easy. You grow when you're uncomfortable. You grow when your back is against the wall and you still swing. That's what champions do. This mindset, this hunger, it's not something you can fake. Either you have it or you train it until it becomes you. And the moment you accept that life is war, everything changes. You stop complaining, you stop waiting, you start moving, you start pushing. You walk into each day ready to fight for what's yours. Not just with strength, but with purpose, with rage in your heart and fire in your soul. That's what turns the average man into a beast. That's what turns the lost into the dangerous. So ask yourself right now, are you living like the predator? Or are you just surviving like prey? Because this world isn't waiting, it's already moving. And if you're not ready to claim your spot, someone else will take it. Life is war. Every second, every choice, every move you make, it matters. So rise up, armor up, and go to battle. Success is not a gift, it's a war zone earned in your mind. That's the truth no one tells you. People love to act like success just happens to some lucky few, like it falls from the sky and lands in someone's lap. They look at the ones who made it and say, he was lucky, or she had it easy. But that's not reality. That's a lie told by people who are scared to face how much it actually takes. Success doesn't fall from the sky. It doesn't knock on your door. You don't wish for it and suddenly wake up with it. You earn it. You fight for it. You bleed for it, and most importantly, you win it in your mind before you ever touch it in real life. Everything starts here in your head. Before your body moves, your mind has to make the decision. Before you grind, before you hustle, before you level up, your mind has to be locked in, focused, ruthless. Because if your mind is soft, everything else will fall apart. It doesn't matter how smart you are, how talented you are, how much potential you've got. If your mind isn't trained to go to war, you'll break the moment life hits back. And life will hit back, hard, over and over. Every dream you chase will be tested. Every goal you have will be attacked. And when that moment comes, it's not your skills that save you, it's your mindset. That's why success isn't for the weak. It's not for the people who give up at the first sign of discomfort. It's not for the ones who crumble when they don't see instant results. Success belongs to those who can take hit after hit and still keep moving. It belongs to the ones who build a fortress in their mind, a place where doubt doesn't live, where fear doesn't win, and where quitting is not an option. You have to train your mind like a weapon, sharpen it every single day. You have to protect it from the poison of this world, the laziness, the excuses, the self-pity, the victim mentality, that mindset, the one that says, it's too hard, or maybe it's not meant for me. That's the voice of failure. And the more you listen to it, the more it grows. But when you silence that voice and replace it with fire, when you start saying, I will figure this out, or I'm not stopping until I get it, that's when everything begins to change. No one can give that to you. No one can force you to think like a winner. That's your job. That's your fight. Every morning you wake up and step into a mental battlefield. The battle is against your laziness, your fear, your doubts, your old habits, your distractions, your comfort zone. That's the real war, not outside, inside. And most people lose before the day even starts because they let their mind control them instead of the other way around. The mind is powerful. It can be your greatest weapon or your worst enemy. It can push you through hell or hold you in chains, and the difference comes down to one thing: how much you train it. Champions don't just train their bodies, they train their minds every single day. They feed it discipline, they feed it clarity, they feed it purpose. That's how they keep going when everything tells them to stop. That's how they win. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need all the answers. What you need is a mind that refuses to give up, a mind that doesn't back down, a mind that says, I'm built for this. Because once you control your mind, everything else falls into place, the discipline comes. The focus comes, the results come, but it starts with winning the war in your head. So if you're not where you want to be, don't look at your surroundings. Don't blame the world. Look in the mirror. Ask yourself, am I mentally strong enough to handle the pain it takes to succeed? If the answer is no, then good, now you know where the work begins. You can't fake mindset. You can't fake hunger. You either have it or you build it. One thought at a time, one choice at a time, one hard day at a time. And when it clicks, when your mind becomes unstoppable, that's when you stop chasing success and start owning it. Weakness is a lie you feed yourself to stay comfortable. That's the truth most people don't want to admit. They dress it up with nice words. They say, I'm just tired, or it's not the right time, or I don't think I can do it. But underneath all that, it's fear, it's comfort, it's the need to protect themselves from failure, from rejection, from hard work. They wrap their weakness in excuses so they don't have to face the fact that they're not giving everything they've got. But here's the raw truth: you were not born weak. You were made strong, and somewhere along the way, you started believing the lie. Weakness isn't something you carry in your blood. It's something you pick up when you stop pushing. It's something that grows when you give yourself too many breaks, too many passes, too many it's okay, try again tomorrow. That voice in your head that tells you to slow down, to take it easy, to stay safe, that voice is not your friend. It sounds gentle, it sounds reasonable, but it's killing your potential. Every time you say, I'll start next week, every time you say, maybe I'm not ready, you feed that weakness. You give it power, and the more you feed it, the more it controls you. You have to be honest with yourself, brutally honest. Are you truly doing your best, or are you settling for average and calling it balance? Because balance doesn't mean being soft, it means being smart, but most people use it as an excuse to stay lazy, and that's where the real damage begins, not in failure, but in comfort, because comfort is the slow death. It doesn't break you fast, it just keeps you numb, keeps you distracted, keeps you okay, and okay is the enemy of greatness. You can't build a powerful life if you keep telling yourself you're too tired to try. You can't grow if you keep shrinking every time life pushes back, and life will push back. It will hit you in the face and it won't care how you feel about it. The only way to win is to stop playing small. Stop hiding behind the idea that you're not strong enough. You are. You've just forgotten it. You've been trained to doubt yourself by people who quit on themselves a long time ago. People who accepted weakness and now try to convince everyone else to do the same. Misery loves company, weakness spreads, and if you let it stay inside you, it will drown every bit of strength you've got. But here's the good news, you don't have to accept it. You can kill weakness. You can fight back, you can wake up tomorrow and say no more. No more delays, no more fake stories, no more soft choices, because deep down you know what needs to be done. You've always known. That fire inside you, the one you keep trying to ignore, it's still there. And it's not asking for easy, it's begging for challenge, it's begging for war, because that's where the real you comes alive, not in silence, not in safety, but in pressure, in chaos, in pain. That's where strength is born. That's where you get to look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm not afraid anymore. You want to feel alive, then stop playing dead, get uncomfortable, do the thing you've been avoiding, push past the limits you think you have. Because on the other side of that pain is power, real power, the kind of power that can't be faked, can't be stolen, can't be bought, you earn it. And once you taste it, you'll never want to go back. You'll never want to be weak again, because you'll realize you were never weak, you were just playing small to fit in, to stay safe, to avoid risk. But greatness doesn't come from safety. It comes from standing in the fire and refusing to back down. So stop telling yourself that you can't. Stop calling weakness your identity. That's not who you are. That's who you were when you didn't know better. But now you do. You know the truth. Weakness is a choice. And strength. Strength is just the decision to keep moving forward when everything tells you to quit. Champions are built when nobody's watching. That's the difference. That's the truth nobody likes to talk about because it's not glamorous, it's not flashy, and it's not fun. But that's where the real work happens. That's where legends are made, not in front of the cameras, not under the lights, not on the podium. It's in the dark, it's in the silence, it's in the moments where it's just you, your doubt, your discipline, and your decision to keep going. You want to be great, then forget the applause, forget the validation, forget the likes, the comments, the praise. That doesn't build you, that doesn't make you strong. What builds you is the work you do when no one else is watching. When the room is empty, when everyone else is sleeping, when it's cold, when it's early, when your body hurts and your mind screams to stop but you go anyway, that's the moment champions are made. Not because they feel like it, but because they've trained themselves to do it regardless. People love to admire the finished product. They love the highlight reels. They love the trophies, the speeches, the stories of success. But what they don't see is the struggle. They don't see the early mornings when you can barely open your eyes but still get up and train. They don't see the nights you stayed up grinding while everyone else was partying. They don't see the pain you carry behind your smile, the failures you've swallowed in silence, the pressure you feel but never show. That's the reality, that's the behind, the scenes that no one celebrates, but that's where champions are built, in the unseen hours. It's easy to perform when the crowd is watching. It's easy to push yourself when everyone is cheering, but that's not where growth happens. Growth happens when nobody is clapping for you, when nobody cares if you show up or not. When you're the only one holding yourself accountable, that's where you find out who you really are. That's when it becomes clear whether you're just talking about greatness or actually becoming it. There are going to be days where it feels like you're invisible, like your effort means nothing, like you're pouring everything you've got into something and getting nothing back. But that's the test. That's the moment life asks, how bad do you really want it? And if you can push through that, if you can keep going without recognition, without attention, without reward, that's when you level up. That's when you step into a different category of person. Because the ones who only work hard when the spotlight's on them, they don't last, but the ones who grind in the shadows, they become unstoppable. You have to love the process. You have to fall in love with the pain, the discipline, the routine. You have to stop needing outside motivation and start relying on something deeper, something inside you that refuses to settle. Something that says, I will not be average. I will not be weak. I will not live a life that's less than what I'm capable of. That mindset, that hunger, that fire, it gets lit in the quiet. It gets built when no one sees the effort but you, and don't expect anyone to understand your journey. Most people won't. Most people will look at you like you're crazy. They'll ask why you're working so hard. They'll say, relax, enjoy life, you're doing fine. But they don't get it. They don't know what's driving you. They don't feel that pressure in your chest, that burning in your soul. You do. You know that this life has more to offer, and you're not here to coast through it. You're here to conquer it. So when it's quiet, when it's lonely, when it's hard, remember, this is where the real ones are built. This is where you create the version of yourself that the world will eventually see. But by the time they see it, by the time they recognize the strength, the power, the success, you'll already be 10 steps ahead. Because while they were watching, you were working. While they were sleeping, you were evolving. And that's the difference between those who dream of winning and those who become champions. Discipline is the engine behind every champion. People love to talk about passion, motivation, and talent like those are the keys to success. But those things fade. They come and go like the weather. One day you're fired up, and the next day you don't even want to get out of bed. That's normal, that's human, but that's why discipline is everything. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't ask for your mood, your comfort, or your excuses. It just shows up. And if you want to win in this life, if you want to build something real, discipline is the fuel you need to run on. You can be the most talented person in the room, but if you don't have discipline, that talent is worthless. It won't carry you through the hard days. It won't protect you when life gets heavy. Discipline is what steps in when motivation disappears. It's the thing that pulls you out of bed at 5 a.m. when your whole body is screaming to sleep. It's the voice in your head that says, keep going, even when everything around you is telling you to stop. That's the difference between those who try and those who win, the ability to do what needs to be done, even when they don't feel like it. Everyone wants to be a winner, but not everyone wants to act like one, because acting like one means saying no to comfort. It means choosing pain, struggle, and repetition when everyone else is choosing rest, fun, and distraction. Discipline is boring, it's not flashy, it's not exciting. It's showing up every single day and doing the work, even when it's the last thing you want to do. And that's what makes it powerful. That's what separates the elite from the average. The ones who rise are the ones who refuse to negotiate with their goals. There are no shortcuts, no hacks, no easy routes. The world is full of people looking for quick wins. They want to succeed without the grind. They want the prize without the price. But it doesn't work like that. The truth is, the path to greatness is paved in discipline. Every rep, every hour, every sacrifice, it all adds up. You might not see it today, you might not see it tomorrow. But day by day, brick by brick, you're building something unstoppable, and it's discipline laying the foundation. Discipline teaches you who you really are, not the version you post online, not the version you show your friends, the real you. The one who shows up when no one's clapping. The one who keeps pushing when no one's watching. That's the version that matters, because life doesn't reward the loudest. It rewards the most consistent. It rewards the ones who outlast the rest, the ones who keep swinging long after everyone else has dropped their hands. There are going to be days when it feels pointless, when you ask yourself, what's the point? When the results aren't showing and the pressure keeps building. That's the test. That's when most people quit. But the ones who keep going, not because they're feeling it, but because they've trained themselves to do it anyway, those are the ones who make it. Discipline builds grit. It builds toughness. It builds the kind of mindset that doesn't crack under pressure. You don't have to be the strongest. You don't have to be the smartest. But if you can be the most disciplined, you will outwork, outlast, and outperform almost anyone. Because most people won't do what you're willing to do. They'll stop when it gets hard. They'll give in to distractions. They'll chase comfort. And every time they do, they fall behind. But you're not here to be like them. You're here to rise above. You're here to be better. And that means living by your standards, not your feelings. So when that alarm goes off, when your body aches, when your mind tells you to rest, that's when you lean into discipline. That's when you remind yourself why you started. Because this life, this dream, this mission you're chasing, it doesn't care how hard it is. It only cares if you're willing to suffer for it. And if you've got that kind of discipline running through your veins, then nothing can stop you. Not pain, not failure, not fear, because discipline is the engine, and once it's running, it turns every obstacle into fuel. Pain is part of the price. That's the truth nobody wants to hear. Everyone wants the success, the respect, the glory, but not the pain. They want to rise without struggle, win without sacrifice, grow without pressure. But that's not how life works. Nothing worth having comes without pain. If you want to build something real, something powerful, something unshakable, then you have to understand this. Pain is not the enemy. Pain is the proof that you're on the path. It's the price you pay for progress, and the only ones who make it to the top are the ones who stop running from it. Pain is your teacher. It's your test. It's the thing that separates the ones who talk from the ones who do. You don't become strong by living soft. You become strong by facing what hurts and moving forward anyway. You grow when you're uncomfortable. You rise when it's hard. That's the moment when everything changes, not when things are easy, but when they're breaking you down and you still stand up. That's what champions do. They don't complain about the pain. They don't back away from it. They use it. They let it mold them, shape them, and fuel them. You have to stop wishing it was easier. Stop waiting for the pain to go away. It won't. It's part of the process. That early morning where everything aches, that's the price. That night when you feel like crying from exhaustion, that's the price. That failure, that rejection, that setback that makes you question everything. That's the price, and every single person who has achieved anything great has paid it in full. No exceptions, no shortcuts. The world lies to you. It tells you to avoid pain. It tells you to chase comfort. But comfort is not where you grow. It's where dreams go to die. Every time you choose comfort over pain, you're making a deal to stay small. You're choosing to stay the same, and you weren't born to stay the same. You were born to evolve, to rise, to lead, to dominate. But that can only happen when you stop hiding from pain and start embracing it. Start welcoming it like an old friend, because pain isn't trying to break you, it's trying to build you. When you train, when you push, when you suffer, you're building more than muscle, more than skill. You're building character, you're building mental armor. You're teaching yourself that you are not the kind of person who quits. You are the kind of person who shows up every time, no matter what. That's what pain gives you. It gives you proof. Proof that you're committed. Proof that you're serious. Proof that you've got what it takes. And you need that proof, because when the world doubts you, and it will, you'll need to know for yourself that you've already gone through hell and you're still standing. Let the pain push you. Let it sharpen your edge. When it burns, when it stings, when it feels like too much, smile, because that's the moment most people fold. That's the moment average people run, but not you. You lean into it. You say, good, bring it. I'm not here to live soft. I'm here to win. That mindset changes everything. Suddenly, pain isn't something you fear, it's something you use. You flip the switch. You realize pain is the gatekeeper to your next level. And if you want to rise, you've got to earn it. You've got to prove that you can handle it. No one is going to do it for you. No one is going to carry you through the pain. You have to walk through it yourself. But if you do, if you face it head on, if you stop looking at it as punishment and start seeing it as power, then there's no limit to who you can become. You'll rise above the rest, not because you're special, not because you had some easy path, but because you were willing to hurt for what you believed in. And that kind of strength, that kind of hunger, that kind of mindset, it can't be stopped, because once you've accepted pain as part of the price, you're already halfway to the top. Winners don't stop. That's it. That's the secret. It's not about being the fastest. It's not about being the smartest. It's not even about being the most talented. It's about being the one who refuses to quit, the one who keeps showing up, the one who stays in the fight, even when they're bleeding, even when it hurts, even when everything in them says, just give up. That's what separates the best from the rest, the decision to keep going, no matter what. Life will test you. It will throw everything at you. Pain, failure, rejection, disappointment, heartbreak, all of it. And most people will fold. Most people will say it's too hard. They'll back off. They'll stop chasing their dreams because it got uncomfortable. But winners, they keep moving. They keep grinding. They keep standing tall, even when the world is trying to break them down. Because they know something others don't. Quitting is a habit. And once you do it once, it becomes easier to do it again. But pushing through, that builds power. That builds momentum. That builds the kind of mindset that's almost impossible to defeat. There will be days when you feel tired. There will be days when you question everything. You'll wonder if it's even worth it. You'll wonder why it's taking so long. You'll look around and see people taking easier roads and still winning, and you'll feel that temptation to slow down, to step back, to just take a break. That's the moment that defines you. That's when your true character comes out. Because anyone can keep going when it's easy, but when it's hard, when it's dark, when it feels like everything is against you, that's when the real winners are born. You can't let failure stop you. You can't let fear control you. You can't let pain own you. Those things are real, yes, but they're not permanent. What is permanent is the growth you gain when you keep going despite all of it. Every time you don't quit, you become stronger. Every time you stay in the game when others walk away, you separate yourself. And little by little, step by step, that gap between you and the rest gets wider. Until one day they look up and you're not just ahead, you're untouchable. You've got to build endurance, not just in your body, but in your mind. Mental endurance is what keeps you in the fight long after motivation is gone. It's what pushes you to keep showing up even when you're getting nothing in return. Winners don't need instant results. They don't need constant praise. They just need the mission, the vision, the fire inside. That's enough. That's all they need to keep going. Because they understand that true success isn't about speed, it's about staying power. Who can last the longest, who can keep swinging when everyone else has dropped their hands. When you feel like stopping, remind yourself why you started. Think about all the sacrifices you've made, all the hours, all the pain, all the moments where you chose growth over comfort. You didn't come this far just to come this far. You didn't suffer just to quit. You didn't bleed just to back down. This journey is not about getting lucky. It's about never giving up. That's what gives you power. That's what makes you dangerous. You're the one who keeps going. You're the one who doesn't break. People will doubt you. People will misunderstand you. They'll tell you to slow down. They'll tell you to be realistic. But that's because they quit on their own dreams. They don't know what it means to keep going when it hurts. They don't know what it feels like to turn pain into power, loss into fuel, and pressure into diamonds. But you do, or you will if you don't stop. You've got everything you need inside you. Strength, grit, heart, fire, it's all there. And the more you walk forward, the more it comes alive, even when you're tired. Even when it's silent, even when it feels like you've got nothing left, you do. You've got more in the tank than you think. You've got another gear, another level, another breath, but you'll never find it if you quit. You'll only find it if you keep going. Winners don't stop. And if you want to win, truly win, neither can you.